The captivating story of the Azores archipelago. Far out in the heart of the Atlantic Ocean, where the sea swells with mystery and fog rolls across volcanic cliffs, lie 9 islands unlike any other, the Azores. Today, they are part of Portugal, but their story stretches back into the mists of legend, long before maps, kings, or navigators gave them names. Islands of legend and myth. Long before sailors set eyes on these islands, poets and philosophers dreamed of them. The ancient Greeks spoke of the Fortunate Isles, paradises on the western edge of the world where heroes rested after death. Homer and Horace wrote of them in verse. Plato spoke of a grand lost continent, Atlantis, swallowed by the sea. When Rome ruled the known world, geographers like Pliny the Elder and Ptolemy mapped the Canary Islands and speculated that other lands must lie beyond. For centuries, the Atlantic was thought to hide many wonders, some divine, some cursed. Medieval mariners believed that hidden islands appeared and vanished with the fog, St. Brendan's Isle, Antilia, the island of the 7 cities, and the Blue Isles, perhaps an ancient whisper of the Azores themselves. From Irish monks to Norse adventurers, many claimed to have reached these mysterious lands. The tales of St. Brendan's voyage, the Norse sagas of Eric the Red, and Arab accounts of daring Atlantic sailors like Kashkash of Cordoba and the 8 Wanderers of Lisbon, all describe lands far to the west, lush and green, shrouded in clouds. Were they myths, or forgotten voyages to real places? The hidden isles on ancient maps. By the 14th century, European cartographers began charting islands in the Atlantic that matched no known land. The Medici Atlas of 1351, the Catalan Atlas of 1375, and later the Pinelli-Walkenaer Atlas depicted clusters of islands positioned almost exactly where the Azores lie today. They bore names both poetic and mysterious: the Island of Goats, the Island of Fire, the Island of Pigeons, and the Island of Sea Crows. Some maps even labeled them with modern names like São Jorge and Corvo. It seemed that sailors had seen these lands centuries before Portugal claimed them, perhaps Genoese, Catalan, or even Arab mariners. Historians still debate who first saw the Azores. Some say a Flemish captain, Joshua Vanderberg, landed there by accident during a storm on his way to Lisbon. Others point to a 1341 expedition sponsored by King Afonso IV of Portugal that may have glimpsed the islands while mapping the Canaries. Whether accidental or intentional, the Azores were clearly known, if not settled, long before their official discovery. Ancient footprints beneath the soil. Until recently, historians believed the Azores were uninhabited before the Portuguese. But modern science is rewriting that story. Archaeological digs between 2010 and 2021 uncovered strange hypogea, underground chambers carved into hillsides on the islands of Terceira, Santa Maria, and Corvo, that predate the Portuguese by centuries. Even more astonishing, sediment samples from lakebeds revealed traces of livestock droppings, fire charcoal, and deforestation dating to around 700 to 850 CE, the Viking Age. DNA analysis of Azorean house mice showed Scandinavian genetic markers. Climate models of the time indicate favorable northeast winds that could have carried Norse ships directly from Scandinavia to the mid-Atlantic. Could it be that Viking explorers reached the Azores centuries before Columbus ever sailed? The evidence grows more compelling every year. The Age of Discovery. By the early 15th century, Portugal had become Europe's rising maritime power. Prince Henry the Navigator, the visionary son of King João I, dreamed of expanding Christian influence beyond Africa and finding a sea route to India. To achieve this, he sponsored new ship designs like the Caravel, improved navigation tools, and built academies to train explorers. In 1427, Portuguese Captain Diogo de Silves reportedly sighted the first of the Azores, Santa Maria and São Miguel. Over the next few decades, explorers like Goncalo Velho Cabral and João Soares de Albergaria claimed the islands for Portugal. By 1432, settlers landed on Santa Maria, dedicating the island to the Virgin Mary on the Feast of the Assumption. At first, the islands were empty, wild, volcanic, and lush. Settlers released livestock, pigs, goats, and cattle, to graze freely until future colonists arrived. Gradually, families from Portugal's southern regions of Algarve and Alentejo came to stay. Flemish and French settlers soon followed, bringing new tools, crops, and crafts. A new world in the middle of the ocean. The Azores quickly became a vital stepping stone for explorers and traders crossing the Atlantic. Their fertile volcanic soil produced abundant wheat, sugar cane, oranges, and indigo, all traded across Europe. São Miguel's capital, Vila Franca do Campo, thrived until a massive landslide in 1522 destroyed it, killing thousands. The survivors rebuilt in Ponta Delgada, which became the island's new capital. The islands were also a magnet for pirates. English, French, and Moorish corsairs raided settlements and captured ships returning from the New World. Fortresses rose along the coasts, and small militias defended the ports. The Azores' remote location made them both vulnerable and invaluable, a crossroads for every major power of the Age of Sail. Columbus and the Azores. In 1493, Christopher Columbus found refuge in the Azores after his first voyage to the Americas. Caught in a storm, his ship limped into Santa Maria, where local officials, fearing pirates, arrested part of his crew. Though tensions flared, the incident ended peacefully, a curious encounter between one of history's greatest explorers and these far-flung Atlantic outposts. War, loyalty, and independence. When Portugal fell under Spanish rule in 1580, the Azores became one of the last bastions of resistance. The island of Terceira refused to recognize Spain's King Philip II, declaring loyalty instead to Antonio, Prior of Crato, the Portuguese claimant to the throne. The locals even defeated Spanish forces at the Battle of Salga in 1581, famously driving enemy troops into the sea using cattle as living weapons. 2 years later, Spain returned with a massive armada, crushing the defenders. The islands remained under Spanish control until Portugal regained independence in 1640. The Azorians celebrated by storming the Spanish fort of São João Baptista, reclaiming their freedom. From sail to steam, the 19th century. As Portugal modernized, the Azores evolved from a distant colony into a maritime hub. The fertile fields of São Miguel and Terceira exported fruit, dyes, and timber. Whaling ships from New England and cod fishing fleets from Newfoundland brought wealth, and new ideas. Thousands of Azorians emigrated to North America, especially to Massachusetts and California, forming communities that still thrive today. Their remittances helped build schools, churches, and ports back home. In 1868, Portugal even issued special postage stamps marked AZORES, acknowledging the island's growing identity. World Wars and global importance. During World War II, the Azores became a pivotal link in the Allied battle for the Atlantic. Portugal, officially neutral under dictator Antonio Salazar, secretly allowed Britain, and later the United States, to establish air and naval bases on the islands. From these outposts, Allied aircraft could finally patrol the mid-Atlantic gap, protecting convoys from German U-boats. The Lodges Field Air Base on Terceira, built in 1943, remains one of the most strategically important bases in the Atlantic. During the Cold War, U.S. Navy planes hunted Soviet submarines from its runways, while today it serves as a refueling station for transatlantic military and humanitarian missions. Autonomy and the modern era. After Portugal's Carnation Revolution in 1974 ended decades of dictatorship, the Azores gained full autonomy in 1976, alongside Madeira. Today, the autonomous region of the Azores governs itself through a regional parliament, blending local traditions with modern European governance. Modern Azorians take pride in their unique identity, a culture born of Portuguese roots, Atlantic isolation, and centuries of resilience. The island's economy now thrives on sustainable tourism, renewable energy, and scientific research. The Azores are also a UNESCO Global Geopark, home to whales, rare seabirds, geothermal springs, and stunning volcanic landscapes. A legacy of mystery and discovery. From ancient myths of Atlantis to Viking explorers, from Prince Henry's navigators to modern scientists uncovering buried secrets, the Azores have always been islands of mystery and transformation. They have witnessed storms, wars, revolutions, and rebirth, yet their green peaks and sapphire seas remain timeless. Today, they stand as a living bridge between continents, Europe's last frontier and the first whisper of the New World. Their story reminds us that even in the vastest ocean, the echoes of legend and history still meet in the mist.